Welcome back to Retirement News Online, where we talk all things retirement. And one of the biggest fears people have about retirement isn't the stock market, it's actually running out of money. Believe it or not, they fear that more than death itself, which ironically, running out of money could be fixed by dying early, but we don't want that. You've worked your whole life to build your savings, but how do you make sure it lasts as long as you do? And beyond for the people you care about when you're not around. Joining me is Troy Tremblay with Tremblay Financial Services in Nashville, Tennessee. So Troy, you work with people all day long, younger and older, but why do retirees fear running out of money too soon more than they fear dying?
That's an interesting question, and I don't know if I have the full answer to that psychology or psychologically how people feel or think that way. But I will say that people also have fear of public speaking, which sometimes more than dying as well. I think
dying during public speaking, that's even worse
on the list there. Yeah. But it's I think uncertainty. People don't know what's coming. There's a lot of fear out there about massive inflation that we've seen over the years. And then also just making sure that their money and their investments are going to be able to be there for them, and they're not going to have to draw down those assets over time. And when people start to see markets decline, their account values drop, and they're also taking income, it's kind of a trifecta effect that worries people and gets them very concerned and worrying that they're going to deplete those assets. So making sure that you have a proper financial retirement plan in place, making sure you take an inventory of your expenses and that you're able to maintain those. And if you need to, keep your expenses down, be mindful of them if necessary. And then, make sure that your investments are going to be there for you for the long run. Having something like a fixed index annuity can be a great way to know that your money is safe and guaranteed, and that, it's going to be there for many years to come.
And that's something too. I want to talk about sequence of returns risk, which really is just a timing thing. We haven't had to worry about that for quite some time, but it just means, two people, same assets, same investments, same everything. One starts taking income while the market is kind of declining early on, right? And then it kind of picks up at the end, and then the other person, it's the opposite track. And the person who started out in a bull market ends up with more money than they started out with, and this person, the other one runs out of money in the 14 years. So I think some of the strategies you talk about can kind of remove timing as a concern. Would that be accurate?
Yeah, absolutely. It can remove timing. And then also, I saw some clients that had their money in the market and it was doing really well. And a lot of those types of people think, I don't need an advisor. I can pick all these stocks on my own or funds, whatnot, and they're going to do fine and continue to perform. Well, in 2008, that didn't happen.
No.
A lot of people had to go back to work and or delay retirement because of the major correction that we saw in the market. And that not only has a real effect on their retirement assets, but it also has a psychological effect where they're fearful of the market and don't want anything to do with the market. Well, again, fast forward to today's market, and the markets are doing really well. We're continuing to see them increase. And we're back to that same mentality where people think, oh, I don't need an advisor. I can pick these stocks myself and it's going to continue to rock and roll. But that may not be the case. And if you are at or near retirement, it's very critical to make sure you take a full assessment of your assets, your portfolio, address those risks, and make sure that you have a plan to guarantee and lock in some of those gains with an example like a fixed index annuity where you can make sure you have that there no matter what. Also, if the market does continue to increase, you're going to see a return on that at the same time. So it's a very win-win situation especially for people that are at or near retirement.
And you're talking about emotion too. So, I mean, in part, you're a therapist. So we go back to, say, April when the market opened 3,000 points down one morning because of bonds and because of tariffs and all the other stuff that was going on. So a lot of people knee-jerked, got out. Right, and then very quickly the market came back, and they likely missed some of that. How do you help your clients not knee-jerk? How do you how do you convey to them, I'm going to do this unemotionally, right?
Right.
You need to take emotion out of this and let me handle it for you.
Right. Well, in that type of situation, depending on the client, it might make sense to buy into the market at that time.
Yeah.
When people are selling, that's the best time to buy. And,
Right.
And so I did see a few of my clients take advantage of that, fortunately, in a great situation for their portfolio. But with that being said, yeah, you got to leave the emotion out of the process. And you're holding hands, you're telling them to stay the course, things are going to be okay, things are going to come back. It is temporary, but when you have an investment that has a guarantee of principal, that's really a saving grace for that person, because they know that their money's safe and guaranteed no matter what happens. And yeah, if the market does come back, you're going to see participation in that. So that's one area that's really helped our clients through those difficult times.
And then finally, how does somebody know if they have the right advisor? Because so many people, I think, are working with someone who focuses only on the accumulation, right? And again, that's returns focus, right? Returns based. But how does somebody know that they've got the right person who can not only help them accumulate, but also help them on the other side, which is distribution and making sure that they don't run out?
Well, I think that's a very broad question we could spend hours discussing, but I think that the main focus should be, number one, do you get along with that advisor? Do you see eye to eye on their philosophy, and do they have your best interest at heart? And that's something that we take very seriously at not only at my office, but in our industry. Is we always have to put the client's best interest first and make sure that we maintain that integrity throughout the relationship with managing their portfolio and so forth. But so that's, I think, the first and foremost issue. But then also making sure that they're competent, that they know what they're doing, that they can help not only implement the plan, but explain the strategy to you in detail and fully disclose the risks, disclose the potential fees or gains or whatever there may be regarding the long-term planning of the portfolio, and then also make sure that they're there to continue to update that and meet with you on a regular basis, get updates from you on a personal level as to maybe things have changed financially with your household, and then also economically things change, interest rates change, the market can change, and there can be new and various investment products that make more sense down the road. That we may want to move out of one and into another. But again, that's all a long-term planning process, and it's a relationship that you're building with that customer.
Troy Tremblay, Tremblay Financial in Nashville, also offices in Santa Barbara, California. This is Retirement News Online. Thanks for watching.
Thank you.